Shez.
And I'm Kell.
Together we are She Can.
And this is
Spill
the Prosecco. Welcome back. It is season 3.
Season 3.
Episode 1. If you are someone that watches the podcast, you will notice that we have a very, very different backdrop.
Different look.
Same shirts.
Always.
And
well, maybe not. I think they're on their last run.
Yeah. We've got some ideas maybe for season 4. Because all of this is new is because we are recording in Bali. So
much to talk about.
But whilst Shez is doing the
I'm going to pop the bottle.
popping of the bottle, we want to talk about Two Islands.
This is Two Islands.
So we are drinking the Balinese Prosecco of Two Islands, and we don't know too much about the history of Two Islands, but essentially it is Australian grapes that are brought to Bali to be processed here to make the finished product, and therefore they have named it Two Islands.
Yeah, it's great. Jen, who we love, she's the manager at S Resorts where we stay, and she got us onto it. That's what we drink while we're at the resort. They left us a beautiful welcome bottle when we arrived last week, and it's fabulous. So we thought, what better one to have on our Balinese recording than Two Islands. So, yeah,
and so also last time we were here, they only had a sparkling, and so the Prosecco was actually launched, I believe, earlier this year or maybe late last year. So we couldn't be more happy.
Can you glass me?
Yes, thank you. So welcome. What's interesting is Shez and I last night sat and listened to episode 8 of season 2, just I guess to get
where we left you all off.
Absolutely. And the reason we do that is because, as you are very well aware, if you are a listener from season 1, we record our podcast in seasons because Shez and I no longer live in the same location. So we need to go back.
Cheers.
We need to go back and recall our memory of what we actually spoke about in the season prior. And so episode 8, where we left you in season 2, we spoke about season 3 possibly having some guests, mixing it up quite a lot. However, never did we think we would be actually recording the entire season in Bali.
So we are currently in between retreats. So we have just finished.
Let's
just
pause.
wound
Let's
up.
have a sip.
Oh, yeah, thanks. I'm sitting here staring at it. It's amazing. It's also 9 o'clock.
In Bali, yes.
In Bali. So we are in between retreats right now. So we've just said goodbye to our amazing clients that joined us for our first ever mother-daughter, which was our kin retreat. We said goodbye to them yesterday, including our own daughters, which we will talk about a little bit more today. And then tomorrow we will kick off our next retreat called Recharge, and that is 10 amazing ladies are flying in. They'll all actually be here today.
Yes.
And just for another week of fun and adventure and connection and maybe a few surprises.
And it's really interesting because today's Saturday. So episode 4 of season 2 just dropped on Thursday. But the week prior, episode 3 of season 2, we talk about Adventure Week and we talk about the journey of arriving in Bali and now about to run our 4th recharge. So the timing's really incredible and really interesting at the same time. But yeah, essentially there's going to be no guests.
No guests.
No
Sorry about that.
guests on season 3.
They might come in season 4.
Who knows? We just never know. The other thing that was really interesting in season 2 is that we thought that Kin and Recharge would have been done and dusted and that we would have been on to the next thing. But essentially Kin finished yesterday and we are yet to do Recharge. So
yeah. Amazing. And the other thing Kel said to me this morning, she said, you know what's really cool? We can talk about what we're going to do next week because we've kept it very secret. And in one of the episodes that we'll record today, we will talk about all of the things that we're going to do with our recharge clients next week. And they will never know because it'll have already happened by the time this is out there.
Absolutely. So we're going to kick it off.
Yep, let's go.
Episode 1, Season 3. Slightly different format because Season 2 brought you right up into She Can Now. And so we're going to definitely stick to a bit of a template. Otherwise, it could just go left of field and who knows where we might end up. But first thing is what's been giving? What's been giving? We're going to start each episode with what's been giving. But before we jump into Kin, I think you probably need to share with what's been giving for you.
Well, I feel like world traveler at the moment. You may have listened in our last season. We talked about, will I even be able to get to Europe? Yes, I did. So I have just gotten back from an amazing holiday with my husband and 2 of our friends. We went to Italy, we went to Paris, and we went to Spain. I got to spend time with my family in Italy, and it was absolutely magical. It was exhausting, but it's just such a magical place. Italy is that place for me. When people say, where is your favorite place? 100% it's Italy for me. But I always like to be surprised as well. So I spoke a little bit about it on my own social media. People had told me Paris was dark and the people were cranky and it's not a very fabulous place. I loved it. It was sunshine every day. The people were beautiful. It was one of the cleanest cities we had visited. Absolutely exquisite. So yeah, I could talk about it all day, but yeah, just an amazing European experience. And it's so funny when you're on holiday and we did a cruise as part of it and people say, well, it's the trip of a lifetime. So we want to get it all done while we're here. And I never say that because I know I'm absolutely coming back.
Yeah.
So it's funny people's words and what that puts out there. It's something I never say.
And I guess for some people, the reality is it is a trip. It is a once.
Yeah.
Like they may not be in a position to come back, but we believe the words that you speak and that you put out there, then, you know, if you were to be like, well, this is my first of many, you never know what might open up to you.
Yeah, and I don't travel and I need to see everything in the one day, or I don't need to, you know, for example, when we went to Rome, I didn't have a tick list and bookings for things to go and do and see. And, you know, if I got to see stuff, great, because I just say next time we'll see it again, you know, and
absolutely
that could be in 10 or 15 years. You can't predict it, but I never ever say that I won't be back because
I think you're also incredible at being able to immerse yourself in the experience that you're having at the time. And if it doesn't become, you know, if it's not the next thing, then it wasn't meant to be that thing at that time.
Yep.
And you just trust that next time it may be, it may not be, it'll be something else.
It is fascinating. I love listening to how people travel. So I guess that cruise element where you're around a lot of other people and you're finding out how their day was scheduled versus how your day was. There's no right or wrong.
No.
I just find it fascinating how other people do it and plan it. And and then we might share our version. And for organised people or itinerary people, they are like, we could not do what you do because I just hop off the boat and go, oh, what do we do? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had a very tight turnaround. It was a 6-day turnaround at home.
6 days home, unpack the bag, wash the clothes.
And essentially that's not
Pack the
ideal,
bag.
but you're definitely not going to complain about then getting on a plane to go to Bali.
Not sad at all.
Yeah.
The Bali trip for us starts with Prosecco at the airport.
Yes.
When you guys get there, and off we go.
Mm.
Yeah. And so then we arrived here and it's like taking a deep breath.
Yeah, and I think for me, what's been giving is exactly that.
Mm.
Is just landing in Bali. I generally get quite emotional when I land in Bali. I don't know what it is. There is no secret that I do think that we will end up living here. I just absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And so that's what's been giving. Okay, but seriously, this episode. We're going to talk about kin.
Yeah, let's do it.
Our first ever mother-daughter retreat, which was Shez's idea after Recharge last year. So last year here in Bali, we ran 2 Recharge back-to-back. We always like to run 2 retreats whilst we're here. And I guess it had always been on the wish list to have our girls not necessarily just visit us at a retreat and make a, shall we say, a guest appearance, but to have a retreat that they could actually be a part of. And so Kin was born. And as you said, we finished yesterday and it was absolutely incredible. We finished with a morning session yesterday. We all had breakfast together and we did some really beautiful like ending retreat things that we like to do. And we're not going to lie, there's always an element to us where I don't know whether or not we second guess, but we have such high standards of the experience for our clients that, yes, we're on retreat, but we are absolutely working.
Yeah.
We are in service. We are always making sure and wanting to ensure that everyone is having an incredible time.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Yesterday at our closing, like I was emotional, but for so many reasons. I was emotional because we got through it. We'd had amazing feedback, looking at our girls in the room, you know, participating and just watching the other mother-daughter connections. I think it was like I was really emotional.
Yeah. And Shez and I were just debriefing as we do and sharing that it was definitely a different experience for us because we were also being mums whilst being the leaders of a retreat and trying to juggle that at the same time and probably questioning whether or not we were doing that well.
Yeah, for both our kids and our clients.
And equally, there'd been conversations, of course, with our girls that it's like, well, the 4 girls, so Shez's 2 girls, Mia and Ruby, and my 2 girls, Macy and Evie, they were in the one villa.
Yeah.
And Shez and I were in a villa. And that was an intentional decision because we knew every night when we got back, we would then need to debrief and just check in and see whether or not anything needed to be tweaked. And so they knew that, yes, it was definitely kin, a mother-daughter retreat, but also mum and Shez or Shez and Mum and Cal are definitely still working.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess if we wind it back, because we really want to share the experience and the kind of things we did. Why would you do a mother-daughter retreat? Why was that something that we felt called to do? A couple of things, and I guess we've shared little bits of this, but I think it's probably really important that this is the platform for us to share it with people that are getting to know us, even for the people that do know us. So I have no relationship with my mother. It's been 7 years now. We do not communicate. We do not speak, and it's not it wasn't just one of those cut off kind of things. It was a slow build. The relationship has been fractured for many, many years. And I'm going to just say it's not from not trying to repair it or actually rise up and, I guess level up as a human when you're around a personality that does, or someone's values that doesn't match your own. And likewise, she may feel the same, but she's also someone that would never have the conversation with me about it. So it was Mia's 13th birthday, and it was after a conversation with Kel, actually, when Kel had said, I see you leveling up and I see you trying to, repair something that's just not there, at what stage are you going to realize you're now giving your girls permission for someone to treat them the way your mum treats you? And it was like a slap in the face because
Tend to do that at times.
because I knew at some point she would start those behaviors that how she was treating me, she'd start treating my girls like that as they moved more into adults. And it was just fundamental choice that it was time that, you know, we didn't need to have a relationship anymore. She has remarried since my mum and dad split, and him and I just never saw eye to eye either. So that leaves a gap. To not have your mum in your life leaves a gap, and I'm going to let Kel talk about her version of that as well. I'm so grateful I have the world's most amazing mother-in-law. She just fills the void, I guess, but she's not there to fill a spot. She is the spot. She's truly an amazing woman.
Absolute
Everybody
legend.
loves her.
Yep.
But probably the one regret in all of it is that cutting off that section of your life means that you lose other family members, and that was really tough. I'm just so grateful that they're now back in our lives because they are amazing. So my mum's side, we basically didn't see them for 6 years. It was minimal. And now they are all back in our lives now for, thank you to whoever's looking after us to make that happen. So that's really special. But I think for me personally, I will never, I will work really, really hard to never, ever have a relationship like my mother and I have. I will never have that with my girls. So the importance of staying connected and stepping out of just everyday life and remembering to do fun things, and especially as they move into this next phase where they're young adults, to continue to nurture that relationship, because all the things start to drop off. So you don't have sport drop-offs and pickups as they start to drive their license. They've got their own money now. They're independent. So they're not doing a few jobs around the house to earn some money. And there's, you're not school concerts, you're not Mother's Day stalls, that sort of stuff drops off. So it's what are we doing? What am I doing actively to make sure we've always got a great relationship and we're always talking? And I could see that there was a gap in the market for something like this. And I knew that because of my relationship with mum, I could make it something fabulous for not just myself and my girls and Kell's girls, but other mother-daughter duos as well.
And I think what you said at the very beginning is something that I would really like to highlight, is that it's not through lack of trying. And that was a conversation that we had, and as much as Shez said it was like a slap in the face, I believe I delivered it as delicately as I can probably deliver things, talking about human design and my conscious Mercury. You would have very much been open to having that conversation if she was willing to meet you halfway and sit down and speak civilly and maybe get some things out on the table, but it just was not an option. And that's where you get to, I guess, draw the line. And there's been many times in the 10 years of She Can that you've shared that in rooms.
Yeah. And
it's been incredibly valuable to many people. But it has to be, I guess it had to be a fundamental choice where you also realised that you couldn't carry the burden and the heaviness around that decision as well. You had to be really solid in that within yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's probably the biggest challenge that a lot of people have when they're removing people from their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just sit with it and then just continue to just do you until everyone else can work it out. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's not lonely. It's super lonely. It's not easy. It was super lonely. That meant the tradition of Christmases and Easters and Mother's Days and celebrating my grandparents. Getting emotional. You missed out. So.
Yeah. Yeah. But the alternative was?
I would never have my girls in it. So, and now we get it all back. That's the best part.
Correct.
I think that's maybe why it's emotional, because we've got it all back. And they have said, we regret not being stronger. You had to kind of be strong out there on your own. Yeah.
And, they only know what they know at the time. They
Yeah.
only know what they're hearing and what they're being told. And you constantly and always just remained authentic and true to yourself. And it took many years, but it's come full circle now, and they can see you're not the problem.
No, it is. It's really refreshing, and not in a refreshing as in a ha-ha way. It's that you made the right decision. So it's not as in a ha-ha.
Oh, gosh, no.
For me,
no.
it's refreshing to know you always get rewarded for the tough choices, and that's the reward. Yeah.
And then, on the other side of the coin for me is that I don't have my mum. My mum passed away. It'll be 14 years this November at 56, and I'm like a freight train heading towards 50. I've just turned 48. And so to have lost mum passed of pancreatic cancer. It was a short battle, as it often is with pancreatic, but it was probably twice as long as what most people got. She got a week short of 6 months from diagnosis. And I would give anything to have my mum here. As many daughters and sons and people that have lost would just love, one more opportunity to have one more glass of wine or one more Christmas dinner or one more holiday. My girls are 17 and 14 and a half. So, they were little when mum passed. And so, I think for me, it's like I had an incredibly blessed childhood. I've got great memories. We got to go to America before I started high school. We had trips to Queensland. I can remember camping with my mum and family friends. So incredible memories. But I shared at kin is that probably one of the hardest things is that the photos you have are the only photos you have. So on her birthday or Mother's Day or her anniversary, you only get to recycle the photos you've got because you don't get any more. So to be able to create an environment, obviously with Shez for our girls, where we get to create incredible experiences, that our girls get to see us in a way where we're doing what we're put on this earth to do, and we genuinely believe that, but also to have fun. We're going to talk about some of the things that we got to do at kin. But that essentially it's, Shez and I have two very different stories with our mums, but the driving force behind creating kin is essentially the same.
You bet.
Yeah. And so we had a magical time. As we said, it was definitely a different weight to carry, mothering and being in service.
And that came unexpectedly too. We were literally going back to our room one night, and I said, and Kel goes, I'm exhausted. And I said, do you know what? What I didn't think about is that I'm still being a mum. I'm still on, and I'm being a mum. Versus when we normally do retreats, our family is so aware that we're on retreat. So they don't expect phone calls. They don't expect check-ins. They just life on their own over there. Yet we were doing that and running a retreat. So that felt very different.
And the girls' ages are 14 to 20. So we've got 14, 17, 18, almost 19, and then 20. But they're also on a holiday in Bali in their mind as well. So to be like, well, we have an 8 a.m. session tomorrow morning. Normally, Shez and I would be up. We would walk. We would get ourselves organised, et cetera, et cetera. But we'd be like, well, into their villa. Are you up? Make sure, pre-order your breakfast, reiterating everything we tell our clients. Did you get that?
I'm not going to lie. One of my children, Ruby, you know who you are. Just wanted to just squeeze the juice out of every Bali moment. And 2 of the mornings, she didn't get home until 4:30 a.m. for an 8 o'clock start the next day. So
that coincided with Australian friends being in Bali at the same time. So,
but that's okay. It created stories.
And I think back to when I was 18, we probably burnt the candle at both ends
Squeeze
as well.
the juice.
So Kin, our retreats here in Bali always start with a traditional Balinese blessing in circle and the most incredible, authentic Indonesian buffet under the festoon lights and on the grass at our home away from home, which is S Resorts here in Uluwatu. And then essentially full day one, kicked off with ATVs in the jungle.
Which is always so much fun because, and everybody gets challenged at different times. So that's kind of what I love about retreat. No one knew the agenda. They didn't know what we had on the itinerary. And so ATVs, there was people that were like, I don't think I want to do it. I'm really nervous. I'm really anxious about it. And others were like, I can't wait. So it's funny how you get tested at different points.
Yeah. And I think part of the beauty about doing these things in Bali is, Evie, my daughter, is 14 and a half. And in Australia, would you be allowed to ride an ATV on your own in the jungle? I would imagine not. But there she was on her own bike, and she got to experience. Oh, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
It's rocky and we're going through water, and we just had such an incredible experience.
Yeah, it's a cool place to go.
Yeah, and the people that we do it with are absolutely brilliant. And as you said, some people are really challenged. Some people are full steam ahead. But there is always something on our retreats.
Yeah.
Every person is challenged at some point.
Definitely.
Or time. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's how we kicked it off. And then we went and had a beautiful Indonesian lunch, and we did the big Bali swing for those that wanted to do that. And then headed back for some R&R. I think that's the best part about our resort. It's just so easy to come back and relax and chill. It was beautiful.
And then we moved into the most incredible sound healing, breath work and biomagnetism workshop / session.
Which only one of the attendees had ever experienced before.
Yes.
So that was incredible to see everybody experience that too.
Yeah, and the beautiful Analu and Costanza, there's really, truly, and I do a fair bit of this, on the Gold Coast, and I do metaphysical acupuncture with Greg, and I love all of that. But there's just something really magical about what they do. And I think Analu, the way that she teaches breath work.
Amazing.
I've never had anyone that teaches breath work like she does, about awareness of how you actually breathe and how you can improve that. And it was just outstanding. And after that, we all sort of floated out of the yoga shala, and there was even so much interest from the younger girls on where the magnets were placed and why they were placed there and the meaning behind that, and some of the physical reactions they had in their body. They were just really interested and very relaxed, onto a very low-key, beautiful dinner. And
also the first time we'd ever done a sound healing at nighttime.
Correct.
And I highly recommend it. It was fabulous.
Yes.
We usually do it at the start of the day as a kickoff.
Yeah.
But this was a wind down. It was beautiful. Yeah.
And then Tuesday was the full day at Water Park, which was just so much fun. And I think that's a really great opportunity for the mums and for them to kind of just let their hair down and have some real childlike fun on the water slides and, cruising down the lazy river. And there's also now the beautiful swim up bar, and you can lay by the pool, and
it is it's a fabulous place.
Food is magnificent.
Yeah. Rubes kept saying to me, I know why you brought us now. I know why you brought us, because I kept making her carry the tubes up the stairs and I just walked up the stairs. She's like, this is why you brought me, so I could carry the tube. Yeah.
And then from Waterbomb, we went on to have an incredible seafood sunset jimbaran dinner on the beach, which really interesting. my first trip to Bali was 11 years ago. And we actually stayed at the Le Meridian, which is literally backs onto the car park of all of the beautiful cafes at Jimbaran. And it is the one thing that has not changed.
Yeah.
It is the one thing that is still so beautiful and authentic, and it's rustic. The food's magnificent. There's the little men with their barley corn barbecues that walk up the beach. It's
cool.
And we got a stunning sunset. We'll put some photos up.
Yeah, and it was just a beautiful, again, as Kel said before, take the photo. So an opportunity for mums and daughters to get a photo together, and then the group of mums and then the group of daughters. It was really nice. And then we had the little bands come over and serenade us, and mind you, he told us we didn't give him enough tip, and I think I'm still offended because I was like, I actually think we did.
And then the following day we went to White Rock Beach Club. Now, for anyone...
Oh, White Rock.
We've had now 2 years in a row, we've had our clients say, I feel like a Kardashian.
Yeah.
It is very luxurious.
Not that we know what that feels like.
No, it's very luxurious. It's absolutely stunning. We had the most incredible weather. We buy the beds right on the pool, so you slip off the end of your bed. The food's magnificent. We just had the best fun. What were we playing on the shoulders? What's that game? Chicken. You know, when you're on someone's shoulders and you're trying to wrestle them up. Admittedly, we were down the kids' end because we had under 18s with us, but it was such a fun day.
It was a fabulous day, and it is really, you know, like you could see all of the daughters, you know, this is a vibe. You could see the mums, yep, and I've just started to relax. You know, we'd had a fairly heavy itinerary in the lead up, you know, quad bikes and then water bomb, so fairly active. So this was the well-deserved rest day.
It was.
And there is something magic of just about walking up those stairs at White Rock and then seeing where you're going to be spending your day and knowing you're in good hands.
Yes, absolutely. And then on Thursday, we went to a jewellery making class down in Uluwatu.
I didn't wear mine.
I did wear mine. We'll put some photos up of what the girl. So I made this one this time, and this is actually mine from last year. But last year we didn't have the option to get them gold plated. So they actually gold plated this for me this time.
So cool. They've moved. Like they should be so proud of themselves. The venue's amazing.
Stunning.
The staff are fabulous. It's such a cool thing to do.
And you're literally hands-on. So you choose what you want to do, and then you are with one of the master jewelry makers and you do the process. And so that was super cool. And then we finished with Thursday night. We went and took all of the guests to Ulu Fish Market. If you have not been there, that is the most mouth-watering, delicious fish tacos.
Oh,
and the sushi rolls are amazing. They did a spot of shopping after dinner,
which is really funny because this group definitely got into the bartering and
joking with the Balinese.
It was really good fun. Like they loved that. So, and that's the joy. You know, there's gaps for people to head off and do stuff. Everyone got to have massages while they were there at S Resorts, mother-daughter together. Some of our amazing mother-daughter duos went off and got matching tattoos. Yeah, it was really cool.
It was. And then we finished yesterday with our morning session. And as we said, the feedback doesn't just come on the last day or when they're filling out a feedback form or that either. It comes constantly throughout, and I guess some of the feedback was that they were just blown away at every turn. There wasn't a need that wasn't taken care of. They had huge praises for the resort. It was just
One really special thing we did do though throughout the process, and they've our clients get to take it home and continue to work on it, is we have a journal called My Mother's Life, and it's a series of chapters that ask questions, the daughter's asking the mum questions and the mum writes in her answers, and then it's a gift that a mum will then pass back on to her daughter, you know, to see your mum's handwriting, to see what your mum's life was like, you know, years after she's gone is kind of special. And it asks things like, you know, what's your go-to recipe? What are you known for? And talks about life before you had kids, and it's such a cool thing. And
Your
we
worst
worked.
haircut,
Yeah, it
or
was-
like, have you done crazy hair? I was like, okay, where's the list?
So it was just really nice to do that and workshop that with your daughters, and then continue to keep doing that when we get home, because it's a significant book, but such a special thing for them to all have at the end of the retreat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as Shez and I do, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this in another episode, we are straight into yesterday afternoon scouting out new venues and locations for activities for next year's kin,
Which we have dates for.
which we do have dates for. It's essentially going to be the same dates as this one. I think it's the 23rd to the 28th of May. And already looking at what the itinerary might look like, we anticipate at least half, if not more, of the attendees from this year will rebook kin next year, and probably maybe bring another daughter, that one that didn't get to come this year, or they'll do it again together.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
such a incredible time. So next, road test or red flag?
You choose.
Red flag.
Okay.
Any?
Oh.
Directly from kin. Any. And then I'm going to
Not really.
No.
Do you? I don't. Other than you never ever grow out of waiting for your daughter to come home so you can go to sleep. I think every night Rubes was out late, I was continuing to watch the snap maps to see where she was at and hope that she'd message me to say she was on a Gojek on her way home.
I would say not a red flag as such, but it's definitely a learning, is that we definitely didn't anticipate the juggle of both and what that did to our energy. And I will say no one would ever know, because when we're on. But I will say
back in the room was a different story.
Back in the room, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, yeah. So I think maybe that.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Okay. Listener spill. So these are our listener questions.
Oh, good. Okay, let's go.
Do you have one off the top of your head that you remember?
No, it's terrible. Any?
I'm just trying to find our... Okay. Steps to be an influencer.
We're not, so I don't have them. But what we will talk about this season is some of the shift in our social media and our presence and stuff. But we'll save that one for another. And there's no steps.
I think it's such an incredible question. It's almost laughable that it was given to us, because we're so far from influencers as you can get. But one thing I would say is that, and we are going to expand on the shift in our content, but it comes back to authenticity and alignment.
Yeah.
So just be your authentic self and just post what feels aligned and feels good to you, not what the algorithm is meant to like and what's the latest 7-second reel hook trend and all of that.
Exactly.
And I think that's the big thing that we've really had to let go of.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Before we go,
okay,
what do we want to leave the listeners with? Before we go.
Well, I hope you're loving the Bali vibe, and that it's piquing your interest in what it looks like to come over here and hang out with us, because we'd love to have you.
Yes. I'm just I'm looking at, can I give you a...
This is it's so funny. This is so completely Bali. We've got a coolie bag down here full of ice with our Prosecco in it.
Yeah, I think it's probably the before we go is just that, like, how grateful we are to be in Bali, how incredible it was to have the girls here.
Yeah, I think if I think about one of the things my girls wrote, take the trip, like make the memory. Like that was one of the things they both said. They were just like, make the memory.
Yeah, and Shez and I were lucky enough to bring both of our girls.
Yeah.
And we highly encourage mums and daughters to come one-on-one because it's just so powerful. But I think one of the things that we could probably share is how incredibly different our girls are to each other. So, you know, Shez has got 2 girls, I've got 2 girls. Like Macy and Evie could not be any more different, and Ruby and Mia could not be any more different. And so
We'll put a photo up of the 4 of them.
yeah, if you're a mum to 2 girls and you're like, oh my God, I raised them the same, the same parents, same environment, and they're completely different. And that's exactly how they're meant to be. So don't worry about that. Don't panic. But that was blaringly
So true.
obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us for episode 1, season 3.
Amazing.
We'll be back with episode 2 next week for us in the next 2 minutes.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.